we will talk more about that letting go of what didn't work, because I think that's something we need to talk more about. We need to invest in who we are and how we work. I think that sometimes letting go is hard. I know letting go is hard, and you have to recognize when it's time to let go, but segue. Because remember, I just talked about the fact that we only need to tweak those systems. We don't need to go and learn a whole new thing. We just need to tweak and move and change. And sometimes our changes are really simple to achieve those aims and achieve the desires that we want. So it's all about change. It's reset, reconnect, and change in 2026. And I want to help you change and you achieve in the way that's best for you.
Mentoring with Geraldine is a bite-sized practitioner podcast for naturopaths, nutritionists, herbalists, coaches, and practitioners. This podcast responds directly to the needs of you, the practicing natural therapist. We have interviews during the holiday season and business and mindset support each week, so you'll get the variety you need to enjoy and stay motivated in your practice. Don't forget to subscribe to receive the weekly episodes. And if you want to connect with me, always check the show notes, because that's where you'll find the links to book appointments and, of course, to join the Academy, the membership group where there's constant connection and community with like-minded practitioners. Now, let's get started.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mentoring with Geraldine and the Bite Size Podcast. How the devil are you? So it's the new year. Can you believe how did we get here? 2026 came up on me by surprise, I have to say. So what are we going to talk about and how are we going to organize our year? Over last year, I found it was easier if, for the podcast, I themed each month. And I'm going to stick with that system. It's worked really well for me. That means, I think anyway, that there's better flow through the podcast. What do you think? I think there's been a lot of change over all the years I've been delivering the podcast. What do you say? Is it delivering, running? I don't know. There's almost 400 episodes this year, not too distant a future, mid-year, I think it'll be. And well, I'll hit 400 episodes. So I really have to streamline things. I really have to make sure that, I'm probably repeating myself, but I'm repeating myself in a different way. So even if you have binge listened to everything, hopefully, and I know a couple of people who recently have, thank you very much. And thank you for your email. Oh, it was so nice to hear. You binge listen to something or you binge watch something on the telly, then there's going to be something new or something different each time you listen or watch. You're just going to get a little snippet out. So I might talk about boundaries. I've certainly talked about boundaries more than once in all of these episodes, but you'll always get something a little bit different. Now, last year for me was really full on. It was really full on. I had to let a lot of things go and I've had to restructure a lot. There's been a lot of change. As you're probably aware, if you've been listening, my mum died at the beginning of 2025. And then we moved house. So much has changed. We went away. My husband had long service leave he had to use before he could go part-time. So we went away for an extended period of time. All sorts of things have happened. But now, here we are in 2026. And interestingly, I've been thinking to myself, this is a new year. This is a new start. I'm stable again. I've got a new home. It's an old house, but it's location. I'm right next to a reserve. I'm surrounded by big trees. I've seen koalas. I've seen a lot of rabbits. A lot of rabbits. They don't really count as natives, but I'm waiting for a few other animals to come along. Beautiful parrots, beautiful birds for me to look at out the window. I'm on the hill, so Adelaide's flat, but we do have the hills, and I'm on the lower edge of the hill. So I do have a view actually out to the ocean. And so for me, it's a different space. It has a different feel. I feel different being here. And so that's a learning as well, because yet again, I've got renovations to do. We bought it for where it is, for proximity to services, to that bit of space. I'm at the end of a cul-de-sac. It's nice and quiet. I haven't got cars roaring up and down the street anymore. Things have changed. And hubby's changed. He's going part-time. My daughter has moved to Canberra, or she's about to move to Canberra as I'm recording this. She's like a day away from moving to Canberra. So things have changed. Our son doesn't live with us anymore either. So there's just going to be the two of us. So it's big change. And then there I was, as you do, doom scrolling. And I hadn't actually doom scrolled very far. And a random woman I'd never seen before, it's just AI algorithm threw it at me. And it was a woman saying that numerology for 2026, and I don't know if I believe in numerology, I've got no clue. I haven't looked into it, no idea. But anyway, it seemed to say what I was feeling, and that is that 2026 was new and that 2025 had been a closure. And I kind of, as I just said, things really changed for me. I'm not going to New Zealand as much. I've moved house. So things have really changed for me, with mum and everything else. So, here I am in a new year. And here we are together on the podcast. I'm letting go of the old. I'm bringing in the new. And how am I going to theme my podcast? What am I going to do with my business? Hubby's part-time. Do I go even more part-time than I am already? That seems almost impossible. How am I going to work things? So I am actually going to go even more part-time than I was. I'm only available on Mondays now. And I will do focus calls on a Tuesday as well, because they're a telephone call and I can do them from anywhere. So Mondays and Tuesdays are focus calls, but my work day is just going to be Monday. So, the theme of this month is going to be reset and recommit. And I've themed it because these are the things I need to do. And I have a feeling that probably no matter where you are in your business, you're sort of thinking it's the beginning of the year. It's the start of something. What actually needs resetting and what doesn't? What needs me to recommit to it? I've got a Facebook group. That Facebook group has been sitting idle all year. All it's been getting in it is the links to the podcast. And I miss that. I miss connecting with people. So that's going to come back. I'm thinking once a month that I will go in there and do lives. We all need to look at how we do things when it comes to the new year, but we don't want to overhaul everything, do we? We don't want to reinvent the wheel again. It's not about doing that. It's just one or two really meaningful resets that is really going to help us and start off this new year the way we want it to start. We don't need that clean slate thing in January. My daughter, she was away for New Year, and then I picked her up at the airport. And on the way home, she said, "Oh, I'm not looking forward to going back to the gym with all those people who've got their January restarts, their resolves for the year. So I've got a busy gym for a month, and then they will stop coming again." Yeah, that's the same in business, isn't it? Are we going to throw out the old and start all over again? What are we going to do? How are we going to make sure that we don't go with all the myths that are out there, all of the clean slate, starting again stuff? What is it that we need to do? And what don't we want to do? We don't want to create the wheel all over again, as I like to say. We just need to tweak some things. We need to tweak the systems, maybe a bit of change of direction, but we don't want to burn everything down, do we? Okay, what doesn't need resetting? So what doesn't need resetting? Skills. I've got the skills, right? I've got the skills. I don't need to, yes, I need to update. Yes, I need to be going to webinars and making sure I'm on top of things and I'm up to date. But I don't need a whole new skill set. As much as I'd like to learn something, what am I going to do with it? What will be the end result of learning that thing? How will I use that thing in my practice? I've got my passion. I've got my identity. I don't need to do all that all over again. Who I am, hopefully. You know that I'm a straight talker. You know that I can help you. All you have to do is check in with me and I will help you out. But what probably does need resetting for you and for me in the way we work, boundaries, decision making, and the support. Where is the support? Who are we getting support from? Now, I personally get support from my Monday group, my Monday clinical group. So we meet twice every month, so the first and third Monday of the month. And it means that they get that support that they need because we're all, almost all of us are in business by ourselves, aren't we? And so it means they get that support and help that they need from someone who's been doing it forever. As my friend said the other day, they're buying your knowledge, they're not buying your time. And that goes the same for you. Even if you're newly qualified, even if you're a student in clinic, the person is paying you for your knowledge. They're not paying you for your time. And we have to be very succinct with our time and really proactive with it. They haven't got the time they used to have. People used to have a lot of time because we knew that at 5 o'clock we would do this thing. Whereas now people are messaging you, "Oh, at 5 o'clock, can you do this, 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 and this as well? And then I'll meet you at 5:05. We need to get our boundaries in place. We need to make sure that our decision making is top notch. It's a good idea to look back through your offerings and maybe contract them a bit. That's what I'm doing. I'm contracting. I mean, I've got three things really. I've got my Monday group that I love. I've got my one-to-one, my 90-day practitioner program. Again, I love that. That's where I work one-to-one with people. And then I've got the pediatric online mastery course, deliver webinars, I give talks and things like that. But those are the three things that and seeing clients for, because I'm doing that again this year. If you listened last year, you'll know that I'm doing a program. It's going to cost the same as a 90-day program. I'm seeing the people the same amount of time, the same number of sessions. So why would the price be different? That's my value. That's my hourly value, because I have a lot of knowledge and I have a lot of skills. And I was just looking through 31 five-star Google reviews from clients. What needs changing? What really needs changing? So the question from today is, what would make this year feel calmer and not bigger? Because if this really is the year of change and growth, we need to be calm as well as grow. Okay. So, I mean, if you're going to struggle with how to change things, then get in contact. Let's have a focus call. Let's chat, see if I can help you out. I've got the 90-day program where you can join the Monday group. Up to you. Or just keep listening to this, of course. There's always that option. But what is it, rather than burning things down, rather than crushing things, rather than reinventing the wheel? I say it again, third time in this episode. What is going to make you feel calmer? What is going to work with you? Who and how can you nut this out? How can you make sure that your calendar aligns with what you're doing and what you want to achieve? Because our calendars I sat down New Year's Day and I worked out, I already had it in my phone, but I also have a big sheet and it has everything on it for the year. So I'm giving a webinar in June on connection and communication. I'm going to be in Adelaide for transition to practice in August, and then I'm doing that again in Melbourne in October. So, I mean, I've got those plans. I've got lots of meetings because I'm in board of directors for ATMS, the Australian Nutritional Medicine Society. So I do have my written on here. I've got all my board sessions written on here, and I've got all the next level all written down already because I want to make sure that they align with what I'm going to do. Now, my Mondays, because I'm working on Monday, dedicating my Monday to my business, to my clients, to my mentees. I'm working the same way with my clients as I will be, sort of, but not really, because you know how we work with clients, don't you? You know, we're recommending supplements and we're changing their diet and all the rest of it. But at the end of the day, it's change and organization. It's implementation. And so I'm seeing mentees on that Monday. And it means that because I sat down and thought about this, I'm setting these boundaries. I haven't thrown anything out. I'm still doing the same main things that I was doing. Yes, I'm going to add in the Facebook group. I'm going to start rejuvenating that. There's going to be once a month. I'm going to go in there live once a month, and I'll also simulcast, make it sound really posh, I'll simulcast onto Instagram at the same time so that no matter where you are, you'll be able to hear it. And that's going to be like a recap of what I've talked about in the podcast, what I've been doing at work, some Q&A stuff like I was doing before I was going back and forth to New Zealand as much as I was. So because this is going to be a year of growth again, 2026, but it's growth and change. And that's why I've started calling my clinic Change, right? So I can't name it Change. I can't have that name. You can't, obviously change has been scored by absolutely everybody, but I can refer to it as that. It's Change with Geraldine, because that's what I want people to achieve. I want them to achieve the change that they want. I want you to achieve the change that you want. And how can we make this year calmer for you and not bigger? And I think that means sitting down, or if you're walking or working at the moment, once you finish listening to this, maybe you actually put on some music, or you sit down with a journal and you start writing out, what didn't I like last year? What wasn't serving me well? What can I let go of? And how can I build into the new thing? Who can help me to do that? How can I feel calmer? How can I set these boundaries? What is it that I'm going to achieve? So a little bit of work to do before next time, because this month I'm going to be talking around this theme of reset and recommit without pressure. So I think next week we will talk more about that letting go of what didn't work, because I think that's something we need to talk more about. We need to invest in in who we are and how we work. I think that sometimes letting go is hard. I know letting go is hard. I've struggled to let go of a number of the things that I do. And you have to recognize when it's time to let go, but segue. Because remember, I just talked about the fact that we only need to tweak those systems. We don't need to go and learn a whole new thing. All right. We don't need to do something huge. We just need to tweak and move and change. And sometimes our changes are really simple to achieve those aims and achieve the desires that we want. So it's all about change. It's reset, reconnect, and change in 2026. I guess that's my word for 2026 is change. And I want to help you change and you achieve in the way that's best for you. So thank you for joining me. If you've made it all the way to the end, I'm going to ask you, as I usually do, to subscribe, scroll down, give me that 5-star review, because I would love that. It will really help me. It always helps all small businesses, doesn't it? If we give them good reviews and they give us good reviews. So thank you for joining me. And I look forward to chatting with you on the next podcast as we develop this theme for January even more. So you have a good one. And I look forward to catching up with you soon. See ya.
Thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast for the weekly episodes. If you'd like even more support and learning, then the Academy is for you. Here you'll find part 2 of the herbal discussions, more clinical learning, and case studies to support your clients in practice. Bye for now.